How often do we truly listen, not just to the words, but to the inner world behind them? Empathy, that elusive bridge between people, begins not with technique, but with a willingness to be open. It's a conscious act, setting aside what you think you know, your agenda, your memories, and just receiving. Think of receptive openness as the firewall that keeps your assumptions from hijacking real connection. Without it, communication becomes a loop of confirming our own expectations, like visiting a museum just to check the artist's names. But when we open up, surprise and delight await. The next time you're in a conversation, ask yourself, am I listening to discover or just to respond? That alone can change the outcome. Let me tell you a story. Rachel comes home late, and before she can finish her apology, Patrick jumps in, assuming he knows the ending. Ever been there? Assumptions are like background apps, draining your listening energy without you realizing it. Here's the setup. You believe you know what's coming, so you don't bother to tune in. The conflict? You miss the crux of what matters, the emotional kernel. And the resolution? Pause your mental autocomplete. Replace "I know what you mean" with "tell me more." Empathic listening means letting people finish their sentences and their feelings. Ironically, the more we assume, the less we actually know. Now, you might be thinking, should I erase all expectations? Not quite. Expectations act like algorithms, sometimes filtering out noise, sometimes creating echo chambers. The trick is to distinguish between fixed assumptions closed, rigid, and sensitivities, which are dynamic, adaptive. Picture anticipation as predictive text. It can help you communicate more clearly, but only if you're prepared to edit in real time. When expectations morph into biases, communication stalls. But when they become sensitivity to style a fast talker, a detail lover, an indirect requester, they become your allies. So, ask yourself, do you use your expectations to connect or to defend your own script? Have you ever wondered why some conversations feel energizing, while others leave you deflated? Responsive listening is the game changer. It means not just hearing, but showing you understand. The setup. Someone shares. You reflect back what you believe you heard. Maybe you're spot on and they feel seen. Or maybe you missed the mark, but your feedback gives them a second chance to clarify. Conflict arises when we listen on autopilot, perfunctory, half-hearted. But with practice, like any skill, we can strengthen this muscle. Start by saying, "So what I'm hearing is," and see how the climate of your relationship changes. It's feedback as a mirror, not a megaphone. Why do we jump in, finish sentences, or rush to share our own stories? Interrupting is often a grab for conversational control, a power play hidden in plain sight. But here's the tension. In trying to connect, we can accidentally cut off connection. The solution? Practice conversational restraint. If you catch yourself leaping in, pause and redirect. Go ahead, I'm listening. Remember, every conversation is a shared runway. Let the other person land before you take off. Not only does this foster trust, but it keeps you from becoming the person everyone avoids at parties. You know that itch to share your own story the second someone finishes theirs? It's universal. But listening means holding your story back, at least for a moment. The setup. Someone is vulnerable, expressing pain or joy. The conflict. If you jump in too quickly, you miss their need to be heard, especially if emotions are running high and equality is momentarily suspended. The fix is simple but not easy. Listen first, acknowledge, then, if invited, share your own perspective. This rhythm is the difference between true dialogue and dueling monologues. Try it. Next time someone vents, reply, "That sounds tough. Tell me more," before shifting the spotlight. Here's a challenge. Can you put aside your own agenda to really hear someone else? Psychologists call this self-transcendence, and it's foundational to empathy. Imagine two radio frequencies. If both are broadcasting at once, there's only static. To truly meet another, you need to silence your own station for a bit. The conflict is internal. Our worries, hopes, and grudges are compelling. But when you make space for another person's story, you create a rare zone of shared meaning. The takeaway? Openness means not just listening to respond, but listening to let someone else's signal come through, clear and strong. Not everyone communicates like you. That's obvious. But how often do we forget it? Sensitivity is more than politeness. It's tuning into the bandwidth of others' styles. Technical term alert. Conversational calibration is adjusting your pace, tone, and even topics to match the other person. To Wardell, overlapping talk means rudeness. To Naomi, it's passion. That's cultural coding in action. The conflict arises when your default mode clashes with theirs, leading to misunderstanding and frustration. The solution? Don't just tolerate differences, get curious. Ask yourself, what's this person's preferred channel? Adjust, and watch connection bloom where conflict once lived. Strange, isn't it? The closer we are, the more reactive and insensitive we sometimes become. That's emotional proximity at work, like a magnifying glass for anxiety and unmet needs. Technical term, emotional resonance. When stress or power dynamics enter, we default to defense, not listening. Remember Tommy's father, who responded to frustration with a lecture instead of empathy. The conflict. Our own unresolved feelings hijack the moment. The fix. Pause. Notice your reaction and ask a simple question. Am I listening or managing my own anxiety? The deepest growth comes from seeing our loved ones not as extensions of ourselves, but as their own valid stories. Ever find yourself itching to offer advice the moment someone opens up? That's the advice reflex, and it usually shuts down deeper sharing. Here's the tension. People have competing inner voices. One wants comfort, another autonomy. When someone rages, our instinct is to defend or shut down. But empathy asks us to acknowledge the emotion first. You seem really upset. Only then is advice, if needed, even possible. Pro tip: before giving advice, check if it's wanted and if the emotional storm has passed. That single act of sensitivity can turn confrontation into collaboration. Let's talk about timing. How often do you barge into a conversation, not noticing if the other person is even available? Here's a simple but transformative tool. Have you got a minute? This is more than a courtesy. It's a consent protocol. Notice body language, posture, eye contact, engagement. That's nonverbal signaling, a vital technical term. Conflict occurs when we force the issue, breeding resistance. The fix? Announce your intention or negotiate timing. It's emotional knocking. Instead of barging in, you're invited. Try it this week and count how many conversations feel less fraught and more fruitful. Here's a radical idea. Great listening starts with listening to yourself. Self-reflective observation means stepping back, analyzing the communication process, not just the content. Circular causality, where your actions influence theirs, and vice versa, is at play. The conflict. We blame others for breakdowns, but rarely see our own part. The way forward? Ask, how might my style be affecting this exchange? Next time a conversation stalls, resist the urge to assign blame. Instead, observe the dynamic like a scientist objective, curious, non-judgmental. That shift alone opens doors to growth and mutual understanding. Final thought. You can't offer empathy if you don't give it to yourself first. Do you notice your own feelings, needs, and communication habits? That's emotional self-regulation in action. When you're distracted, rushed, or anxious, pause, focus on your breath for a few cycles. This isn't just mindfulness, it's emotional calibration. Like the radiologist who rushed Kate out the door, we often short-circuit our own needs. Practice solo supervision. After tough conversations, reflect what worked, what didn't. What can I change? Growth is iterative. The more you listen to yourself, the more present you'll be for others, and the more rewarding every relationship becomes.